You have no idea how much I hate you, she said, and poured 16 years of silence, pain, and misunderstanding into those words. Mark stood frozen outside her bedroom door, as if rooted to the floor. The words hit him like a gunshot in the quiet house. He didn't know what to do with his hands, clench them, drop them, raise them in defense. His whole body tensed as if punched in the gut. Behind him, the living room was silent. His wife, Lisa, sat on the couch with a teacup she hadn't touched in minutes. She'd heard it. Of course she had. It wasn't their first argument. But it was the first time their daughter had used the word hate. Mark and Lisa had always considered themselves good parents. They worked steady jobs, paid the bills, drove their daughter to extracurriculars, helped with homework, attended every parent-teacher conference. They didn't yell, not often anyway. Never hit. Didn't ban everything just because they could. They'd even let her create social media accounts at 13, though they'd thought it was too young. They tried to be modern. But now, standing in the hallway, Mark felt everything they'd built crumbling beneath his feet. "Emily," he started, but the door slammed shut in his face. He stood there a moment longer, then slowly walked to the kitchen. Lisa was already there, wiping tears from her cheeks with the back of her hand. "It's normal," she said, voice trembling. "Teenagers say things like that. It doesn't mean." "No," he cut in. "It does." He didn't want to say it out loud, but he knew a chasm had opened between them. And maybe they'd dug it themselves. It started with a phone. Emily came home from school, dropped her backpack in the hallway, and disappeared into her room. Nothing unusual. But that day, Mark noticed she didn't answer his hey. Not just ignored it, she didn't even look his way. At dinner, he asked how her day was. "Fine," she muttered, eyes on her plate. "Anything new at school?" "Nothing." "You okay?" "Yeah." That was it. No questions back. "No, how about you?" Or "What did you and Mom do today?" Just silence, broken only by the sound of chewing. Mark glanced at Lisa. She shrugged. "Maybe she's tired," she whispered. But the next day, it happened again. And the day after that. Then it got worse. Emily stopped joining them for dinner. Said she wasn't hungry or already ate. In truth, she just didn't want to sit with them. Mark tried to talk. "Emily, is there something you want to say? We can talk." "No." "Are you mad at us?" "No." "Then why are you acting like this?" "Because you don't get it." "Get what?" "Anything." She walked away. Mark stood in the hallway, feeling like a fool. Lisa suggested family counseling. "Maybe we all need to talk to someone neutral," she said one night after Emily had gone to bed. "You think we're that bad?" Mark asked. "No, but maybe we're missing something." He agreed. The first session felt strange. Emily sat with her arms crossed, staring at the floor, barely speaking. The therapist asked gentle, open-ended questions. "Emily, how do you feel when your parents ask about your life?" "Annoyed." "Why?" "Because they don't actually listen. They just ask to check a box." Mark wanted to argue, but stayed quiet. "What do you wish they'd do instead?" "Nothing. Just stop hovering." Lisa bit her lip. "We're not hovering," she said softly. "We just want to be close." "You're not close," Emily replied. "You're close to the version of me you want me to be." Something inside Mark snapped. They sat in silence on the drive home. "She's right," Lisa finally said. "About what?" "We really do see the daughter we want her to be, not the one she actually is." Mark didn't want to admit it. He'd always believed he knew his daughter better than anyone. But now, what if we've been wrong all along, he asked. "We have been," Lisa said. "All parents are sometimes." They started changing. Slowly. Mark stopped interrogating her. Instead, he'd just sit nearby while she watched a show, no comments, no advice. Just presence. Lisa stopped checking her phone. Stopped reminding her about homework every 30 minutes. At first, Emily didn't notice. Then she did. One evening, she came into the kitchen where Mark was drinking coffee. "You're not asking how I am," she said. "No," he replied. "If you want to tell me, you will." She hesitated, then sat across from him. "I'm having trouble with a friend," she said quietly. Mark didn't interrupt. Didn't offer solutions. Just nodded. "She betrayed me." "That hurts," he said. "Yeah, They sat in silence. Then Emily got up and left, but this time, she didn't slam the door. Weeks passed. One morning, Emily walked into the kitchen while they were having breakfast. "Hey," she said. "Hey," Lisa replied, careful not to show her surprise. "Can I sit?" "Of course." She poured herself juice. "Are you mad at me?" she asked. "No," Mark said. "We worry." "Me too," she whispered. Lisa reached across the table. Emily didn't take her hand at first, but eventually she did. "I'm sorry," she said. "For what?" "For saying that thing about hate." Mark took a deep breath. "I know you didn't mean it." "I did," she said. "But not forever." He nodded. "Sometimes anger is just pain that doesn't know how to get out." She looked at him, and for the first time in months, something like relief flickered in her eyes. Things weren't perfect after that. There were still arguments, misunderstandings, moments when Emily withdrew again. But now they knew the key wasn't to demand answers, it was to stay close. Not to fix, but to listen. One night, as Emily lay in bed, she suddenly said, "Dad, yeah, thanks for not walking away." He didn't understand at first. "Walking away from what?" "After I said what I said." Mark sat on the edge of her bed. "I'd never leave," he said. "Not even if you hated me every single day." She smiled, the first real smile in a long time. "I don't hate you." "I know." Lisa watched from the doorway, tears in her eyes, but this time, they were tears of relief. They weren't perfect parents, but they were real. And maybe that was enough. Family conflict isn't always about who's right. More often, it's about who's willing to stay even when everything falls apart. Mark and Lisa didn't know what lay ahead. But now they knew one thing for sure. Love isn't the absence of fights. It's the choice to remain despite them. And in that choice lies the heart of family.